Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. If you aren't aware, there was basically a absolute nightmare blunt rotation going on Tim Pool's podcast. Tim Pool had notorious neo-fascist Nick Fuentes on as a guest, as well as Stop Being Poor, notorious far-right shit-heel troll Milo Yiannopoulos, and Kanye, otherwise known as Ye now. Kanye apparently stormed off the show.
No one's gonna denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who is they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up? And then
have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a conversation?
Like have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, here's my pain, here's my suffering. I'm going to say, I hear you. And then he's going to say, and it was Jewish people. And I'm going to be like, okay, but don't you consider it's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Go, make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised. What do I even do? Other than ask him, please elaborate on this. Are you referring to individuals, or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
So who's them? It's the Jews, because Kanye has recently gone on a ton of anti-Semitic screeds, which is why he's facing consequences for his actions. It's not a conspiracy. It's society telling you to go kick rocks. And then there's Nick Fuentes there being like, no, well, actually, he's right. It's like, shut up, you little vermin. And Milo Yiannopoulos is like the case of herpes that keeps coming back. Oh, and quick refresher on the absolute piece of trash that Milo Yiannopoulos is. Here's a clip from a recent Humanist Report video that just sums it up beautifully.
And I'm sorry, I've got to touch on him platforming Milo Yiannopoulos earlier on in the episode, and I did watch all of it, by the way. Milo Yiannopoulos alluded to the fact that he was also on Tim Pool's program not that long ago. And it's interesting because last week, I thought that Tim Pool was really concerned about groomers. He claimed that Club Q that was shot up hosted a grooming event, and then when people explained to him how this was a lie that was harmful, he laughed it off and doubled down. But yet, for views and clicks, Tim Pool decided to bring on an actual groomer, or at least someone who defends grooming and outright pedophilia. Let me remind you about who Milo Yiannopoulos is. The New York Times explained in a 2017 article, quote, no, you're misunderstanding what pedophilia means, Mr. Yiannopoulos says on the tape in which he is talking to radio hosts in a video chat. Quote, pedophilia is not a sexual attraction to somebody 13 years old who is sexually mature. Pedophilia is attraction to children who have not reached puberty, he adds, dismissing the fact that 13-year-olds are children. The notion of consent, he says, is arbitrary and oppressive. At one point in the video, an unknown speaker says that the behavior being defended by Mr. Yiannopoulos is akin to molestation by Catholic priests. Mr. Yiannopoulos responds in an ironic tone by crediting a priest for having helped develop his sexual technique. Hey, Tim, there's the groomer that you and your right-wing buddies have been so concerned about. He's right there on your program. He explicitly defended pedophilia. And you're just okay with that? You're okay with platforming this person and rehabilitating his career after he was rightfully canceled for defending pedophilia? You're helping to resurrect the career of Milo Yiannopoulos, but yet you had no problem claiming that the LGBTQ plus nightclub, which was shot up, hosted a grooming event with no evidence that there was grooming or sexual molestation going on. But yet you have no problem benefiting off of an actual defender of pedophilia if it leads to you getting views and clicks.
Just literally 4 of the worst, most dishonest, and awful people on social media right now just having a chat about, oh yeah, should we consider this very old, outdated, and inappropriate conspiracy theory that in turn led to the Holocaust? Oh, hey, yeah, sure, why not? This is profitable, this is monetizable. A soul, what's that, you may ask? It's just absolutely so ridiculous and infuriating. Now, look, I know Kanye is going through some things. He's struggling with bipolar disorder and probably just, having been just completely surrounded by yes men his entire life. So it stoked his ego. Like, yeah, I get it. The dude's got some very first world problem kind of problems right now. But it's also just really concerning to see, how he just completely went off the rails on all like this anti-Semitic nonsense. And here's Tim Pool again. Oh, hey, money, gotta capitalize off of this. And brings on, again, like terrible, awful people, including a Holocaust denier. Because, well, we're just asking questions here, folks. What do you have against dialogue and discourse? We're just asking questions. I am so tired of that excuse. It's like a get out of criticism free card, because people are like, oh, well, we can't have limits on freedom of speech. And it's like, yeah, you can, and actually you should, as we've seen with historic examples that have led to murder and suffering. But all this to say that if there's one thing I want to hit on here that is different from probably what everyone else has done, which is showing more of the clips and saying, oh, geez, how ridiculous, which, hey, I did that too. If there's one thing I want people to take away from this video, it's the following. The fact that this is how the system works and is incentivizing people to talk about it needs to be addressed. And an addendum to that is that people like Tim Pool, like Kanye, like Milo Yiannopoulos, Nick Fuentes, and all the other little goblins and ghouls that make up the far right should absolutely be deplatformed. And that is not censorship. That is not, oh, you hate free speech. That is called being a decent human being who agrees that, this kind of stuff should not have any place or spotlight or attention in civilized society. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the conversation. And already lots of people are going to say, well, why do you hate free speech? And it's just going to be the same terrible, awful, cyclical argument that we've seen time and time again, all while again, the rhetoric is upped and it means more danger for our friends and our families and our comrades. And no one, especially not the people who deserve to face consequences, are going to face any when they absolutely should. And that is what's bothering me today.